Hi everyone, this is Jim Egan, head of school, Synapse School, with a Friday update. It is March, that means it's Women's History Month. We had a great assembly this morning discussing where Women's History Month began, how it has unfolded over the years, and we talked about wonderful women entrepreneurs and aviators and teachers and how they have added value to our country. I didn't know until I looked it up, and we talked about it this morning, that Women's History Month started as a Women's History Week in Sonoma County, a school district in 1978 actually was the first to start this movement. Okay, this won't be a very long update, but I did want to talk about where we are in terms of changes and put more color or context on changes in our planning for the remainder of the year. So first, remember, we are heading into mid-March. Interactive Lab is coming up next week. Big deal, right? It's a big deal for kids. It's a big deal for teachers. It's a big deal for our school. So understand that that is coming, and that's of primary importance certainly this coming week. And then we're looking at heading into April, where we have a spring break, and we then come back from spring break, and we're in May. And every year there's a cadence in schools and in school communities. And as the conversation in the media churns and burns around the schools reopening around us, I can't help but think to myself that what's lost in this conversation is that the school year is heading into the final stretch, right? As all these schools look to reopen, not only in the Bay Area, but also across our country. We've been open online and in a hybrid format since September, and then we've been open online since the beginning of August. Right, so we have had tremendous success as an open school, campus open and DL, and we're not going to make radical shifts at this point in the school year. One, it's just not prudent because we're heading into the home stretch. Okay. Two, we're not going to do that because that won't make any sense in the context of the virus and the pandemic. And then three, it's sort of very operational, we can't because San Mateo County has a framework for recovery regarding the pandemic, and everything we do has to fit within that framework. So I know some parents have reached out to me and said, they're saying, okay, they're fearful that we're going to make changes that are too dramatic. We're not getting rid of masks. That's not happening. We are going to keep to distance, right? We know that works. We're going to keep to being outside. We're not going to go into unventilated classrooms. We're just not doing that. So that right there restricts some of what we can do or cannot do. Some families are saying they want more extreme changes. And we can't do that, right? We're constricted with our space. We're not moving inside, and we are going to be prudent and take things 2 weeks at a time. I said this back in September. I've been saying it all year long. We will take it in 2-week increments. We will be adaptable, but we need to look at the data and see how it goes moving forward. So right now we're planning more around questions. What can we do, right? So prior to spring break, we are thinking about our community guidelines, right? Do we need to update those guidelines in the context of the Bay Area and the counties in the Bay Area sort of moving into less restrictive tiers, right? What does that mean for our families? Do we need to change our guidelines? That's one. Two, I have questions around pickup and drop off, right? We are going through a permitting process. It's perpetual in the San Mateo County area. And so do we need to keep that in mind, right? What does it look like for our permit process if we continue to have parents backing up on the street? Do we need to change that, right? Three, is it time to loosen up restrictions outside regarding playground equipment, balls, hula hoops? If so, do we need to wash those more regularly? What does that look like? So we're asking a lot of questions regarding those small things that you don't see going on campus. We're also looking ahead after spring break and thinking to ourselves, can we have more 7th and 8th graders on campus more of the time? Can we remove Zoom learning for 5, 6 in hybrid learning on campus, right? Can we remove that? Can we have parent ed sessions through SEL or SEL department on campus? How do we do that? Can we have graduation on campus if the county allows it? We're planning for that, right? So there are some bigger items to change too, but we are not going to move to full days for everybody. Boom. That doesn't make any sense from hours and sort of a time resource equation at this point. And it doesn't make any sense from a health and safety standpoint. It doesn't make any sense because we can't do it because the county's not going to let us. Right, so I want to be very clear. I don't want people to assume that can just happen. That can't just happen. Lots of reasons why. At the same time, we are an iterative community. We believe in looking at data. We're going to look at it and we're going to make changes. We have a task force. We have Stanford team that's going to help with this. So things will change, but they won't be drastic in any direction. So I don't want those out there that are worried that we're going to do something that would be unsafe, right? We're going to continue to have the principle of precaution in place. And I also don't want those out there who think, oh, we're just going to open up the gates. No, we can't do that. The county won't let us do that, and it just doesn't make any sense from a health and safety perspective. We're just not going to do that. So I think there are some exciting changes. There is a lot of excitement around the vaccine. Most of our staff are now already one shot in, and I think I can't wait for that to happen. And so there are lots of good signs, lots of good things to think about. Okay, everybody. Again, Interactive Lab next Friday. It's a big deal for our school. I hope you're excited about it. I know your kids are. And so rest up this weekend. Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.